explored Alex's animal arc. My name is Alex, and I will be your guide to all the amazing animals that live on our planet. Today we will be learning about the western lowland gorilla, which was requested by my friend Tyler Hospodarsky. So, to start with, the western lowland gorilla is the smallest subspecies of western gorilla, but they still have plenty of strength. The males are larger than the females. The males can reach a height of up to 6 feet when standing on their legs. They also have an average weight of about 300 pounds and can reach weights up to 500 pounds. They also have an arm span of 8 feet. Females, on the other hand, reach only a height of 4.5 feet. Their weight can range from about 150 to 200 pounds. Their arm span is 6.5 feet. Both the males and the females can live 30 to 40 years in the wild. The western lowland gorilla possesses jet black skin that is covered in coarse black hair with a more brownish tint compared to other gorilla species. Only their face, ears, hands, and feet are not covered in hair. Male gorillas eventually develop a silver-colored patch on their backs, which is why the older males are known as silverbacks. The females may go gray behind their ears, on their necks, and the tops of their heads as they age. Western lowland gorillas have arms that are longer than their legs. They like to walk on 2 legs a lot, but when they walk on all 4s, they support themselves on the 3rd and 4th knuckles on their curled hands, which is called knuckle walking, which is a thing that all apes do. Speaking of hands, the western lowland gorilla has very large hands, with nails on all fingers like humans, and very large thumbs. Compared to other species of gorilla, the western lowland gorilla has a more pronounced brow ridge and ears that look small in relation to the size of their head. They also have a differently shaped nose and lips compared to the other species. Speaking of their heads, the males have very large bony crests on the top and back of their skulls, which anchor the massive facial muscles that support and operate their jaws and teeth. The females also have these crests, but they are a lot less pronounced. They have very tough and strong canines, and large molars to help them chew the vegetation they eat. Another distinguishing feature of the western lowland gorilla is that their big toe is farther away from the rest of their toes than the rest of the gorillas. Babies up to 4 years old have a white tuft of fur on their butts, so their mothers can identify them. Where can you find western lowland gorillas? Western lowland gorillas are found primarily in lowland tropical forests and swamp forests. Their range includes Cameroon, Central African Republic, mainland Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Nigeria, the Republic of Congo, Cabinda or Angola, and possibly the Democratic Republic of Congo. They are the most widely distributed gorilla species. Unfortunately, their habitat is being destroyed, and they are critically endangered, but luckily zoos and organizations around the world are trying to prevent them from going extinct. So what are some western lowland gorilla behaviors? Western lowland gorillas are diurnal, and usually forage and rest during the day and sleep at night. They are primarily herbivorous. Their typical diet consists of roots, shoots, fruit, wild celery, tree bark and pulp, as well as the leaves and stems of plants. At certain times during the year, they will eat more fruit than foliage, and at other points they eat more foliage than fruits. Adults can consume up to 40 pounds of food daily. Western lowland gorillas typically live in small groups or troops that grow in size throughout the year. These troops can range in size from 2 to 30 individuals, but a typical troop has about 5 members. The average troop consists of 1 dominant silverback, 1 or more blackback or younger males, several adult females, and their babies and older kids. Western lowland gorillas are generally peaceful and non-aggressive, but they will attack if they are provoked. The males will often fight each other for a female, but most of the time everyone gets along. Silverbacks may also kill infants that are unrelated to them to mate with the mother of the infant. They typically have a home range of 8 to 45 square kilometers, and typically travel 3 to 5 kilometers per day within their range. The silverback is the leader of the troop and gets exclusive breeding rights to the females in the troop. He will also make all the decisions as well as diffusing fights. One of these decisions is where to rest during the day and sleep at night. Gorillas above the age of 3 make nests to rest and sleep on, which usually consists of foliage or branches being gathered around an individual. The males usually nest on the ground, whereas the females will nest on the ground or in the trees, and the juveniles nest up in the trees and spend more time in the trees, which decreases as they get older. There is no set breeding season for western lowland gorillas, and babies are born throughout the year. Gestation typically lasts for 8 months. The females can have between 3 to 6 babies throughout their whole lives. Baby gorillas are not totally helpless and are able to grasp onto their mothers. The babies are supported by their moms for the first few months of their lives. They typically grow at twice the rate of human babies for the first 2 years of their lives. They can crawl and ride on their mother's back at 3 months old, and may continue to ride on their moms until they are 3.5 to 4 years old. The younger males will eventually leave their groups to go find a mate, and oftentimes end up in a bachelor group for a while before forming their own troop or joining another one. Sometimes they will challenge the silverback of another group to become the new leader, but oftentimes they get scared off by the display of the silverback, which may include pounding his chest, throwing things, or charging at and past the challenger. They don't become silverbacks until they are 13 years old or older. Females often join several groups throughout their lives and choose which silverback to follow based on many attributes. Western lowland gorillas are pretty intelligent and lead very complex and interesting lives. They participate in grooming each other, and the adults tolerate the kids playing with each other and hanging off the adults. The silverback will also sometimes engage in play with the older kids. They have been known to fashion tools out of sticks like chimpanzees. They communicate through auditory signals, visual signals, and odors. Even though they are pretty quiet animals, western lowland gorillas can scream, bark, and roar. Scientists have recorded up to 22 unique vocalizations that have various meanings. They can also learn simple sign language as demonstrated by Coco, a female gorilla that lived at the Gorilla Foundation's preserve in the Santa Cruz Mountains. She eventually gained a vocabulary of more than 1,000 signs in what her caretakers called Gorilla Sign Language. She also reportedly recognized 2,000 spoken English words. She also had a kitten she named All Ball. And now it's time for some fun facts. Western lowland gorillas are the most common gorilla species in zoos. They had their genomes sequenced in 2012. Their scientific name is gorilla gorilla gorilla. Each individual has unique fingerprints and nose prints. There was an albino western lowland gorilla named Snowflake, who was born in western Equatorial Guinea and was brought to the Barcelona Zoo in 1966, where he lived the rest of his life until his passing in 2003. So, for those of you who aren't aware, my friend Tyler likes to take a notebook to the zoo and write down observation about the animals. Because of this, his favorite debate is, who would win in a fight, a grizzly bear or a gorilla, and why? So, go and listen to the grizzly bear episode so you have all the information you need to answer this question. I've created a Google form so I can gather other listeners' answers to this question. I will publish a graph of the data and also record an episode where I read the most interesting answers. You can find it on my website as well as the Alex's Animal Ark Facebook page and in the description. I look forward to your answers. You can just give me your first name if that's what you're comfortable with. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more, feel free to subscribe to Alex's Animal Ark on YouTube, or subscribe on Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Castro, Castbox, Podfriend, and iHeartRadio. Feel free to like and follow the Alex's Animal Ark Facebook page, and visit my website by following the link in the description. If there's an animal you would like to hear me cover, please email your name and the animal you want to hear about to the email in the description, and I will add it to the list. Or feel free to leave a comment on YouTube or on the Facebook page with an animal you would like to hear about, if that makes you feel more comfortable. Thank you for coming on this animal adventure. I will see you all again for the next voyage.